Democratic running mates for president and vice president had, say, an executive producer, it would be the person who made this night possible, Joe Biden, who 4 years ago chose Kamala Harris as his running mate, and 2 weeks ago, just over 2 weeks ago, announced he would stop running for president and designed, in the timing of his endorsement, a quick and chaos-free transition of the Biden-Harris campaign into the Harris campaign, which then triggered a rapid series of endorsements by other prominent Democrats, leaving not a single Democrat willing to launch a campaign to try to take the nomination away from Kamala Harris. Vice President Harris assembled enough delegate support to win the nomination the day after Joe Biden dropped out and endorsed her. Candidate for President Kamala Harris has had a flawless first 2 weeks of campaigning, wisely adding winning veterans of Democratic presidential campaigns to the staff of the campaign that today became the Harris-Walz campaign. President Biden, no doubt watching proudly, said this today: "The first major decision a party nominee makes is their choice for vice president. And Kamala Harris has made a great decision in choosing Governor Tim Walz to be her running mate. It's time for all Democrats, and indeed all Americans committed to freedom, democracy, and American leadership in the world, to rally behind the Harris-Walz ticket. Every generation of Americans faces a moment where they are asked to defend American democracy. That moment is now." When prosecutors walk into court on the big cases, they are not alone. They always have at least one co-counsel with them at the prosecution table. Tonight, Donald Trump's chief political prosecutor, Vice President Harris, continued her prosecution of Donald Trump with her new co-counsel, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
I was a courtroom prosecutor. So in those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women. Fraudsters who scammed consumers. Cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, Trump's type.
Make no mistake, violent crime was up under Donald Trump. That's not even counting the crimes he committed.
When Donald Trump watched that tonight, he knew he was up against another new candidate who he could not handle. Donald Trump has already been lost trying to figure out how to campaign against Kamala Harris. And now he's even more lost trying to figure out how to campaign against Tim Walz, who in that one line told the truth about the violent crime rate under Donald Trump's presidency more clearly and more memorably than any Democrat ever has. In a similar burst of clarity, Tim Walz blasted through decades and decades of political rhetoric about abortion when he said this:
Some of us are old enough to remember when it was Republicans who were talking about freedom. It turns out now What they meant was the government should be free to invade your doctor's office. In Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and their personal choices that they make. Even if we wouldn't make the same choice for ourselves, there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business. These guys are after my heart chanting, mind your own damn business. That feels good, so thank you.
Mind your own damn business. That is nothing less than the single best political message the Democrats have ever delivered about abortion and reproductive freedom. This is the first presidential election since Donald Trump's Supreme Court justices revoked a constitutional right for the first time, the right of women to control their own bodies, including the right to control their own bodies after they are raped. Donald Trump's Supreme Court justices said that 10-year-old girls raped by family members cannot be protected in any way by federal law. The Constitution does not care about them, according to Donald Trump's Supreme Court. And in the very first presidential campaign since Donald Trump's Supreme Court justices did that, Tim Walz is saying to Donald Trump and his Republican judges, mind your own damn business. And polling shows that the mind your own damn business position commands a large majority of American voters. Next year, if Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the White House, they will be legislating a bill with all of the protections for women of Roe versus Wade. And in the debates on the House floor and the Senate floor, you will hear repeatedly the Democratic position described more simply than ever in the words, mind your own damn business. We now have a presidential and vice presidential team of running mates who are the best possible spokespeople in the history of the Democratic Party for the mind your own damn business position. And we have had two vice presidents from Minnesota, both Democrats, Walter Mondale, serving with President Jimmy Carter, and Hubert Humphrey, the first vice president from Minnesota, serving with President Lyndon Johnson. It was Hubert Humphrey who, on the campaign trail, took on the nickname the Happy Warrior. Tonight, there is a new Happy Warrior from Minnesota running for vice president.
Donald Trump's not fighting for you or your family. He never sat at that kitchen table like the one I grew up at, wondering how we were going to pay the bills. He sat at his country club up in Mar-a-Lago, wondering how he can cut taxes for his rich friends. And I got to tell you, his running mate shares his dangerous and backward agenda for this country. J.D. Vance literally wrote the foreword for the architect of the Project 2025 agenda. Like all regular people I grew up with in the heartland, J.D. studied at Yale, had his career funded by Silicon Valley billionaires, and then wrote a bestseller trashing that community. Come on! That's not what middle America is. And I got to tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there? Look. I got to tell you, pointing out just an observation of mine that I made. I just have to say it. You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy, and yes, just weird as hell. That's what you see. That's what you see. So you know what's out there, so say it with me. We aren't going back. We aren't going back. We are not going back. So we got 91 days. My God, that's easy. We'll sleep when we're dead. Over those next 91 days and every day in the White House, I'll have Vice President Harris's back. Every single day. And we'll have yours. You know how this works. We can't do it alone. We need you, each and every one of you. Go over to KamalaHarris.com, get on board, because we need you. Freedom to make our own choices. This leader, this compassionate, careful, joyous leader believes in each and every one of you. My God, you came here tonight to sit at the very top because you love this country and you're not going back. She believes in the opportunity for every single person to join the middle class. She believes in the promise of America. We just got to fight. We just got to fight. Because as soon-to-be President Harris says, when we fight, we win. Thank you, Philadelphia. Thank you, Vice President. God bless America.
Leading off our discussion, someone who was there, Pennsylvania Speaker of the House, Joanna McClinton. She was there at that rally today. Speaker McClinton, go ahead. Take us in the room. What was it like? What were you feeling?
It was truly electric at the Leocore Center in the heart of North Philly tonight. It was packed to capacity. There are over 15,000 people there. I want to say everyone was there from Philly, except I saw people who don't hold public office, who drove down from Harrisburg, who drove down from Erie. People in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania are fired up and ready to elect Kamala and Governor Walz immediately. The fact that we're 91 days out and just 2 weeks after our beloved president, I call him Uncle Joe, stepped down, not running for re-election, and all of this excitement has come to pass right in front of our eyes. We saw a warm welcome, not only from elected officials. I, for the first time, got to meet our next vice president and able to salute for the first time our soon-to-be president, let her know how proud I was as a superdelegate to cast my vote for her earlier this weekend. We are not going back, and people are determined. There was complete hope in the air, even afterwards. Of course, when you're in crowds that large, it takes a long time to get in, a long time to get out, a long time to wait for the motorcade. I went across the street on Temple's campus, picked up something to eat because we were all waiting. And everyone, Lawrence, was just so excited, all saying that we are fired up and ready to get Kamala and Governor Walz elected come November the 5th.
We have seen an awful lot of presidential campaigns that were literally years in the planning, not execute. as flawlessly as the Harris campaign has been executing over the last 2 weeks, and now what is the Harris-Walz campaign. Kamala Harris certainly deserves a huge amount of credit for the way these 2 weeks have gone.
We have to salute her this evening because not only has she had the steady leadership and support of President Biden for the last 4 years and all the years she was our United States Senator, the second woman of color to do that job, the California Attorney General, the District Attorney in San Francisco. She is now ready to rumble in the ring with her sleeves rolled up, letting America know not only what she's already accomplished for us, but what she will do over the next 4 years. And something that was stated tonight that will always stay with me every room I go in for the next 91 days is it's not just we're not going back. We have a future to plan for. And we know what 4 more years would look like under our former president. We are without a doubt that he wants to be a king. Although America was founded getting away from a king across the pond, he wants to go back to dictatorship. He doesn't believe in freedom. He doesn't believe in our democracy anymore. He told people just a week ago, this is the last time they'll have to vote. So we are thrilled and we are fired up and we're excited and we're very proud in this moment. Very proud in this moment to know that for the first time in our nation's history, we are going to turn the page. And when we say representation matters, it's not just at the local level on council, but at the top of the ticket. We have a woman who's accomplished, who's brave, who has great vision, who articulates her goals very clearly, and now has chosen a running mate who is firing up every generation.
One of the lucky ones who was there, Pennsylvania House Speaker Joanna McClinton, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We're going to need to hear more from you during this presidential campaign.
Thank you. I'll be back.
Thank you. And joining our discussion now is Democratic Senator Tina Smith of Minnesota. She's former Executive Vice President for Planned Parenthood of Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Senator Smith, you know those two people who were up on that stage today as well as anyone does. When did you discover that your governor was on his way to the vice presidency?
Well, so I have to admit, I was checking my phone all night long. I had a real sense, I didn't know that it was going to be Tim. It just was so clear to me that he was the right choice, that Kamala would see that as well and would feel that. And so when I finally got the news this morning, it was just like an explosion of texting and messages back and forth. And then to be able to watch this incredible rally in Philadelphia with the vice president, I literally, Lawrence, was watching the rally on my phone in a car because I was going back and forth to a big group of Minnesotans who were watching it as well. And I mean, he just crushed it. And I love both the way he performed, but also seeing the vice president standing behind his shoulder, you could just see in her eyes going, yep, this was the right thing to do. We're on a path. We have a way to make this happen. And the two of them are just great together.
So the governor's been on this program a couple of times, going as far back as when he was in Congress. But I've never seen him give a speech before today. I'm one of those people who's not surprised by how well Kamala Harris has been performing in this campaign because I've known her work and seen her giving speeches for over 15 years, back from when she was San Francisco DA. You're in that position with Tim Walz. You knew what you were going to see today. Tell us what voters should expect to see as we go forward with this candidate.
Well, this is the beauty of Tim Walz. I mean, Lawrence, I have spent countless hours listening to Governor Walz as he's listened to me at speaking engagements and campaign rallies and get out the vote bus tours for many, many years. And what you saw today is exactly what he always delivers on. I mean, he is sharp, he is funny, he is real. I mean, the line that you have been talking about today about just mind your own damn business is classic Tim Walz. Like, let's not get bottled up in a whole bunch of political talking points. Let's just say it the way people talk. And I mean, I've seen that so many times. And that, I think, is what Americans are going to see for the rest of this campaign. And then when he becomes vice president, be able to see what that means when it comes to helping President Harris lead this great country. He is just so real in the way that he expresses himself. And I think that's why people resonate with what he's saying, and because they know that he means it. You could see the joy in the experience. And I mean, I'll admit, as an old friend of his, I was a little nervous for him. Like, this is a big deal. You walk into this giant arena with thousands and thousands of people, but I had nothing to worry about. He was totally on top of it.
Well, this is his first big speech on the national stage. There's many more to come, and usually people just get better at it when they start off doing that well. Senator Tina Smith, thank you very much for joining us on this important night.
See you soon, Lawrence. Thank you.
Thank you. And coming up, Speaker Nancy Pelosi has much to tell us about her friend Tim Walz, who served 12 years with her in the House of Representatives. Speaker Pelosi joins us next.
I have moderate to severe Crohn's disease. Now there's Skyrizi.
Things are looking up. I've got symptom relief. Control of my Crohn's means everything to me. Control is everything to me.
Feel significant symptom relief at 4 weeks with Skyrizi, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements. Skyrizi is the first IL-23 inhibitor that can deliver remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. And Skyrizi is proven to help deliver long-lasting remission at 1 year.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to. Liver problems may occur in Crohn's disease.
Now's the time to ask your gastroenterologist how you can take control of your Crohn's with Skyrizi.
Control is everything to me.
Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
My family is sacred to me. It truly is all that matters. I was on a work trip when the pulmonary embolism happened. But because I had the factor V, which showed I had the genetic mutation, because I was aware of that gene, that saved my life. I would not have been able to meet my new granddaughter. I truly believe I'm here because of 23andMe.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
I wish my TV provider let me choose what I pay for. I wish my TV provider let me choose what I pay for and let me pause my subscription when I want. Sling lets you do that.
Choose and customize your channel lineup or watch for free. Sling lets you do that.
I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. I take once daily Jardians at each day's start. As time went on, it was easy to see I'm lowering my A1C.
Jardians works 24/7 in your body to flush out some sugar. And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardians can lower the risk of cardiovascular death too.
Serious side effects may include ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration that can lead to sudden worsening of kidney function, and genital yeast or urinary tract infections. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop Jardians and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of infection in your legs or feet. Taking Jardians with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Jardians is really swell, the little pill with a big story to tell.
Why do couples choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
I need help with their snoring.
Sleep Number does that.
Thank you.
During our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Shop now at a Sleep Number store near you.
I was seeing this bra all over my Instagram feed.
This is the most comfortable bra I've ever put on in my life. So not only is it super supportive, lifting and smoothing, but you have all that without an underwire and without a ton of padding.
If you're looking at this and it's available, I promise you won't regret it.
Free returns on all orders.
HomeAglow just cleaned my entire house for $19. No, seriously, $19. They showed up right on time and did my dishes, my laundry, they even cleaned my windows. You just pick a date, pick a cleaner, and enjoy a spotless house for $19. I love using HomeAglow, and I think you will too.
I can feel the winds of change.
I was running in a district that had one Democrat since 1892. Well, my neighbors graced me with an opportunity to represent them in the United States House of Representatives. I'm proud of the work we did there together. I worked across the aisle on veterans issues, on agriculture, and on ways to grow rural economies. I learned the art of compromise without compromising my values.
He cast one of the critical votes to pass the Affordable Care Act. Which, of course, gave health insurance to tens of millions of Americans. I'm going to tell you, when we win, Tim and I will continue to make the Affordable Care Act even stronger.
On January 4th, 2007, newly elected Congressman Tim Walz, a member of the new Democratic majority in the House of Representatives that he helped create by winning, cast his vote to elect our next guest, the first woman Speaker of the House of Representatives, where they served 12 years together. Joining us now is Speaker Nancy Pelosi of California. She is author of the new book, The Art of Power, My Story as America's First Woman Speaker of the House. I have the book right here with all of my notes. We're going to get to it in a minute. It's so relevant to everything that's happened today. But I want to begin with what's happened today. And that guy who I just saw on the stage giving a speech, the first time I've ever seen him give a speech, you know so much about him from his arrival in the House of Representatives, and you knew he could do this.
Oh, yes. I'm such a fan of his. In the Congress, well, when they came, of course, they were part of our taking back the House for the American people, for the children, for the Democrats. He and his wife, Gwen, came as a team. She's fabulous. You'll see and learn more about her. And their children were small. Now they're grown. That's a while back. But he was a family person. He was a person about heartland values. Not that they're different from the rest of the country, but they're proud and pronounced. As he mentioned, veterans issues, agriculture, rural issues, reaching across the aisle, finding solutions. He was always just great. But the thing about it is that he came with a credential, over 20 years, about 24 years, as a non-commissioned officer, the longest-serving non-commissioned officer to ever serve in the Congress. He became the top Democrat on the Veterans Affairs Committee and did so many things for the good of our veterans, working with Chet Edwards of Texas, who was the appropriator in place for that. And even the veteran service organizations have said so many good things that happened, that even happened since the GI Bill of Rights, but taking veterans into the future. So he was identified that way, elected by our colleagues to serve in that position, highly respected, very effective, and so no surprise to anyone. The House members are so thrilled that he is receiving this recognition now for the good of our country.
So one of the things that happened today is that I got a bunch of text messages from young people, my daughter's age and younger, saying they wanted to rush to Philadelphia. They wanted to jump on trains in New York and go down to Philadelphia and be part of this. They're so excited by Tim Walz, someone who I had not been paying attention to. Your grandson's over there in the corner of the studio. He's excited about Tim Walz. Can you explain the magic that this candidate has with the young voters?
Well, he started out by saying, "I can do this." He was very confident. As soon as the opportunity, I can do this. I know how to make the contrast between them and our values, our vision for the future. And he picked up a word, I guess, decided that he was going to identify the Republicans as weird, and it went viral, and that was sort of what took him into the younger world. And it was a good word because I think it's too generous. I think they're much worse than weird, but that's not what people want to hear. They'd rather hear something like that. And it introduced him in a way that was very positive. And that's why so many young people, and my grandson, my daughter Alexandra, her husband, and Mahil, they all went and they said it was just the most remarkable demonstration of support, enthusiasm, joy, and hope.
This book, The Art of Power, which is, I think, the perfect title for what you have to talk about and tell us about, is filled with crazy stories about Donald Trump and crazy moments, including him on the phone with you after, he discovers that he's going to be impeached by the House of Representatives, for example, for the first time. He's trying to talk you out of that. These are scenes that we did not know about. I want to get to those. But he has written something tonight that he has put out on social media that is a competitor for the craziest thing he's ever said on social media. And I have to read it to the audience because they don't know this, but I want to get your reaction to it. Donald Trump said, "What are the chances that Joe Biden, the worst president in history of the United States, whose presidency was, he thinks, unconstitutionally stolen from him by Kamala Harris, Barack Obama?" He's using all sorts of nasty names. Nancy Pelosi mentioned in here, Adam Schiff. I'm not going to give him all the ugly adjectives he uses in this. But he says that he thinks the presidency has been stolen from Joe Biden, who is, of course, still president of the United States, functioning as that. And he ends this madness with his belief that at the convention, Joe Biden is going to go to the convention and demand the nomination. Now, this appears to be just a grave mental condition that we're reading in this post.
Well, it isn't on the level. And it's a wonder they, as I've said in the book, they don't have an intervention because that's not on the level. It's pathetic. But again, we don't agonize, we organize. It's about, he must be stopped, but we must show what better things there are out there. Joe Biden was the most consequential president, such a consequential president, did so many things. 15 million jobs created under his leadership. What's his name? Trump, the worst job record of any president since Herbert Hoover. Unemployment is down, wages are up, and he's saying the worst president when his record was comparable to Herbert Hoover. So many things about our freedom, women's right to choose, LGBTQ, any subject you can name that is about ever-widening circle of freedom in our country, because that's our history. You know, the founders had a beautiful vision for our country. God bless them. But they couldn't put it in the Constitution, but thank God they made it amendable. So over time, we've ever had an expansion of freedom, whether it was ending of slavery, blacks having the right to vote, black men having the right to vote, eventually women and the rest, until him. When he came along, and then his judge, it's the overturning Roe v. Wade, taking us backward. But as was said at the rally tonight, we ain't going back. Or they didn't say ain't, but we're not going back. But this is so sad. It is so pathetically sad. But again, we can't dwell on him. He's well known for his, in my view, insanity. We have to go forward with our best, addressing the kitchen table issues of the American people, as Joe Biden did with the rescue package. Shots in arms, money in pockets, people back to work, children safely in school, infrastructure bill, bipartisan infrastructure bill, creating jobs and building infrastructure with justice and fairness so that communities could participate. The PACT Act for our veterans, hundreds of billions of dollars for our veterans who were exposed to burn pits, having access now and in real time, moving very quickly. Chips and science. Again, our self-reliance as a country, because we will have the technologies to enable us to build other possibilities for our country and enable other people to be involved. And of course, the IRA, which is the Inflation Reduction Act, and that $370 billion under Joe Biden's leadership to address the climate crisis. Did you know he was the first senator to ever have a resolution? It was 1986, before even I was in Congress, to address the climate crisis and reduce, in the same bill, reduce the cost of prescription drugs. On the other hand, he's saying, sitting down with fossil fuel executives, give me $1 billion and I'll reverse all of that that relates to saving the planet and the rest. So the contrast couldn't be greater. So when I say he's a projector. He's saying Joe Biden is the worst president. He knows he was. He's saying we're crazy. He knows he is. He says somebody's crooked. He knows he is. So he's a projector, an imposter, and okay, we got it. We just have to win.
None of those accomplishments that you just described would have been possible without everything you were doing in the House of Representatives. The story of that is told so well in this book. We're going to take a quick break right here and come back with more with Speaker Pelosi.
Look out, 'cause here I come.
Have you always had trouble losing weight and keeping it off? Same.
Discover the power of Wegovy.
And I'm marching on to the beat I drum.
With Wegovy, I lost 35 pounds. And some lost over 46 pounds.
Wegovy.
And I'm keeping the weight off.
Wegovy helps you lose weight and keep it off.
I'm reducing my risk.
Wegovy is the only FDA-approved weight management medicine that's proven to reduce risk of major cardiovascular events in adults with known heart disease and with either obesity or overweight.
Wegovy shouldn't be used with semaglutide or GLP-1 medicines. Don't take Wegovy if you or your family had medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if allergic to it. Stop Wegovy and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Wegovy may cause low blood sugar in people with diabetes, especially if you take medicines to treat diabetes. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes, or if you feel your heart racing while at rest. Depression or thoughts of suicide may occur. Call your provider right away if you have any mental changes. Common side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
With Wegovy,
I'm losing weight.
I'm keeping it off.
And I'm lowering my CV risk.
That's the power of Wegovy.
Check your cost and coverage before talking to your healthcare professional about Wegovy.
I avoided the mirror. I felt alone for a long time.
I remember going home and praying for it to go away, not thinking it was something wrong with me.
I go into a lot of things thinking it's not going to work, and I thought muesli would be the same thing, but it actually worked.
More than 700,000 patients have regained their confidence with Muesli's prescription treatments.
When you're hopeless and then you find other women who are in the same boat as you suddenly feel okay. We're going to get out of it together. That's what Muesli did for me.
Oh, man, I love a good hotel breakfast.
Same.
Yeah, so close to the stadium. I managed to get the last room for $190.
I booked the last room a week ago.
I booked yesterday. One night, $140.
What?
How?
Some sites panic you into booking their last room, but they don't have all the availability. Instead, use Trivago. Trivago compares hotel prices from hundreds of sites, so you can save up to $50 a night.
Well, at least I got the last ticket to the game.
So did I.
Hotel Trivago.
20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Connect with the provider today at ro.co/20.
Borderie ships the only fully arranged cheese and charcuterie boards nationwide, so you can send the perfect gift for every occasion. The perfect gift to send for birthdays, the perfect gift to say thank you, the perfect gift to bring to a party. Featuring chef-selected ingredients from around the world, Borderie boards are handmade, fresh daily, and shipped to your door overnight. With themed boards for every holiday and occasion, Borderie is guaranteed to impress, whether you're gifting or hosting. Send a board to someone you love today at Borderie.com.
Which looks better, this or this? Seems clear to me. If you love to save, check out the Wise Buy sales event going on right now at America's Best. Get 2 pairs of Progressives for just $129.95. Offer includes a comprehensive eye exam. Book an exam online today.
We've always loved taking care of our home, but last year, Grandpa here broke his arm. We realized some home maintenance jobs aren't worth the risk.
That's when we call Leaf Filter to protect our gutters.
Leaf Filter's patented filter technology keeps debris out of your gutters for good.
They gave us a free inspection, and we had the system installed that week.
My only regret is not calling him sooner.
Now we can focus on what we really enjoy.
Join millions of satisfied homeowners. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER today or visit leaffilter.com.
I was seeing this bra all over my Instagram feed.
This is the most comfortable bra I've ever put on in my life. So not only is it super supportive, lifting and smoothing, but you have all that without an underwire and without a ton of padding.
If you're looking at this and it's available, I promise you won't regret it.
Free returns on all orders.
Why do couples choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can it keep me warm when I'm cold?
Wait, no, I'm always hot.
Sleep Number does that. During our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Shop now at a Sleep Number store near you.
Donald Trump sees the world a little differently than us. First of all, he doesn't know the first thing about service. He doesn't have time for it because he's too busy serving himself.
In your book, The Art of Power by Nancy Pelosi, right here, available now, you tell a fascinating story about a phone call you had with Senator John McCain, Republican senator, where he told you the most suspenseful vote we've ever covered here was the night the Senate was voting on repealing the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, and John McCain saved it by voting with the Democrats on this. He told you earlier in the day that that's how he was going to vote. And it's remarkable to read that conversation in this book and think about where the Republican Party in Congress is today and how that kind of phone call would no longer be possible.
Well, it was remarkable, but he was willing to be open to voting with them, but they were so in the House they didn't honor their commitments. They were going to have hearings. They were going to have this or that, and they weren't. So I said to him, "Let me tell you what's happening." He said, "You don't have to tell me. I know what's going on, and under the present circumstance, I'm not going to be voting for it." Now, you never know. Everybody has the right to adjust to other circumstances. So I wasn't surprised when it happened, but we were very relieved. I said it's the no heard around the world. It was quite remarkable. But he was a person of his word. He was a person of honor. And I just worry about what he'd think about what's happening to the Republican Party now. I wish people would take back the party so that it was at a place where we were friends. We disagreed a lot. Sure. That didn't mean we agreed on everything, but it did mean that we had respect for the oath that we took, the patriotism that we had, and the responsibility we had for transparency, for accountability, and to the extent possible, bipartisanship, at which they take back their party. It's up to them how they want to do it, but it shouldn't be a cult to Donald Trump.
So we have a presidential, vice presidential ticket tonight of two candidates who you know very well in two totally different ways. You have Tim Walz, who came to serve in the House of Representatives with you for 12 years, and you have Kamala Harris, who politically grew up in your backyard of San Francisco, right in your district in San Francisco, first as an assistant district attorney, then running for the office of district attorney herself. And so you have seen both of these people long before they've taken this spot on the national stage. What do you expect of from them in the next 90 days?
The next 90 days, I think you will see great patriotism on their part, with great respect for the American people, and a clear message of what a difference their election would make. Again, Joe Biden was a consequential president, did great things. Kamala was very much a part of all of that. So she knows the policy, she knows the vision, she knows the strategy to how to get it done and now to how to protect it. So I'm very proud of her. But let me just say about her, she's a person of deep faith, and that's a beautiful thing, including a faith in the public, and it's indicated in her public service. She's a person of great, but that's personally. Officially, a person of great strength. She knows her issues. Don't underestimate her knowledge and her strategy in terms of issues. Most recently, you see with the woman's right to choose, which is a freedom issue, which is a kitchen table issue, which is an economic issue for families. And politically, she won that race. I wasn't even for in the first race she ran. I was for the incumbent. But she got herself through there. Then she ran for Attorney General in the state. Tough race, multi-candidates. But she managed her way through there.
And that was a tough race.
A very tough race. A very tough race. But we all worked together in electing her there. And then coming to Washington as the United States Senator, and then this opportunity, which she has magnificently taken us through the last couple of weeks. I don't know what the word would be, but the opportunity that she had, she ran.
I mean, a party has never been in more urgent need of leadership than in these last 3 weeks after President Biden said, I'm not running, I'm endorsing Kamala Harris, and to get us the country as smoothly through that, and the party as smoothly through that is just remarkable.
Well, you know, it's one thing, and one of the things, there are all kinds of things that people bring to the table, and she loves the spotlight. She shines in the spotlight. She speaks so beautifully and eloquently, and she's chosen a person who's a great compliment to her in terms of his rural emphasis, his veterans' emphasis, his emphasis on so many things that are important to the American people. So they complement each other very well. Our members are so happy that Tim Walz is the candidate for vice president, just thrilled, and they're having all kinds of events to celebrate it, and that means political events to help him win and to help them win. We're proud of Kamala. She's just, as I say, personally, politically, officially, so wonderful to describe and to support. And Tim Walz, well, he and Gwen, his wife, are just so lovely. They're a team. They'll make a great vice presidential couple.
This chair is available to you whenever you're in town. Speaker Pelosi, thank you so much for being here on this important and historic night.
My pleasure. Thank you. It is a happy occasion.
Thank you. And coming up, we did not play the guessing game on this program about who the vice presidential nominee would be, but 12 days ago, at the end of one of our discussions, David Hogg threw in his own enthusiastic endorsement of Tim Walz for vice president. A very happy David Hogg will join us next.
When you take me by the hand, I feel better again. Oh, I feel better now.
Want the effects of Viagra, but faster? Meet Roe Sparks. They contain sildenafil and tadalafil, but Sparks dissolve under the tongue. Dissolvables work faster than old school pills. Connect with a medical provider at ro.co/sparks.
It's easy to imagine your life with Revival. And for just about everything, we'll be there. Revival Rugs. With you for every step. Get up to 25% off during our summer scaled sale through August 18th.
Yellow. Didn't pass the tissue test? Buckle up.
Reality checkup.
There's toothpaste white, and there's Crest 3D White Strips white.
Whitens like a $400 professional treatment.
Prepare for non-stop smile.
Crest.
For gentle, dependable constipation relief, try Senecot. It works differently than other laxatives because it's made from the senna plant, a natural vegetable laxative ingredient. Gentle, dependable Senecot.
Also available in delicious gummies.
I am Tony Hawk, and like many of you, I take a statin to reduce cholesterol. But statins can also deplete CoQ10 levels. That's why my doctor recommended Qunol CoQ10. Qunol has the #1 cardiologist-recommended form of CoQ10. Qunol, the brand I trust.
Choose Advil Liquid Gels for faster, stronger, and longer-lasting relief than Tylenol Rapid Release Gels. Because Advil targets pain at the source of inflammation. So for faster pain relief, Advil, the pain away.
With MyQ, home is just a touch away. MyQ is the only smart home security solution that provides video monitoring, real-time notifications, and lets you decide who comes in and who stays out. All in one easy-to-use app.
I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. I take once daily Jardiance at each day's start. As time went on, it was easy to see I'm lowering my A1C.
Jardiance works 24/7 in your body to flush out some sugar. And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardiance can lower the risk of cardiovascular death, too.
Serious side effects may include ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration that can lead to sudden worsening of kidney function, and genital yeast or urinary tract infections. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of infection in your legs or feet. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Jardiance is really swell, the little pill with the big story to tell.
Yikes. Leaky refrigerator coil card.
Oh no.
But your future is bright with an American Home Shield warranty to protect your covered home system. Don't worry, be warranty.
We need a miracle.
Miracle every Thursday starting at 2:45.
I love you.
I know.
Find childcare that fits your schedule at care.com.
There's some shopping pictures.
Whoa. The unexpected can happen to any of us. That's why SelectQuote makes it easy to get the life insurance coverage you need to protect your family for less than $1 a day.
SelectQuote found me a $500,000 policy for only $16 a month.
We could help you save more than 50% on life insurance.
Visit SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save.
When I grow up, I want to be an actor.
So why don't you act like a good sister and get me some more buffalo wings?
On second thought, I want to be a director. Let's try a scene where you go get your own.
Can we get some more lemon pepper wings in this scene?
Ooh, and honey teriyaki too.
Ooh, good note.
Have your people call my people.
When Vice President and I talk about freedom, we mean the freedom to make your own healthcare decisions. And for our children to be free to go to school without worrying they'll be shot dead in their classrooms. By the way, as you heard, I was one of the best shots in Congress, but in Minnesota, we believe in the Second Amendment, but we also believe in common sense gun violence laws.
Joining us now is David Hogg, co-founder of March for Our Lives and president of Leaders We Deserve PAC. He's a survivor of the school shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida. David, we had no discussions about vice president candidacy on this program, except for the time, last time you were on, when you threw in a pitch for Tim Walz at the end of our discussion as we were running out of time. And that's it. That's the entire discussion this program had on that subject. Your candidate made it. Have you heard from your candidate making it to the VP since he's been chosen?
I have. I actually got a call from the governor thanking me just about an hour ago, calling me from, I believe it was in Pennsylvania. His daughter Hope even got on the phone and was talking about how much they'd seen posts of mine on social media and stuff like that, because I had been posting so much about Governor Walz that people were asking me, you know, if I had been paid to post about it. And I wish I was, because I would have made a lot of money. But no, I just genuinely love the governor so much and think he could just be such a qualified candidate for the vice presidency that's why I was doing it. And I want people to know, just take a moment to feel what we're feeling right now. That strange feeling you're feeling, it's hope, right? It's excitement. We're voting for somebody, and I have not felt this kind of energy ever in the past 6 years of how excited people are right now, because we are voting for somebody unlike ever before, really in my life working in politics since I was 18 years old. you've blown a tire, who do you want to be there with you? Do you want J.D. Vance or do you want Tim Walz? I think everybody wants Tim Walz, no matter which political party they're in.
Vice Presidential Talent Scout David Hogg, thank you very much for first mentioning his name 2 weeks ago on this program and for joining us tonight. Thank you, David.
And thank you, Lawrence. And if anybody wants to support our work to turn out more young voters by giving them young people to vote for, because we still have to lock up that youth vote, go to leaderswedeserve.com to support us, because I'm going around the country to help turn out young voters everywhere by giving them young people to vote for, because we got to build the future of the Democratic Party and get the youth vote. So anybody that wants to do that goes to leaderswedeserve.com.
Thanks, David. Thank you. We'll be right back.
I told myself I was okay with my moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis symptoms.
With my psoriatic arthritis symptoms. But just okay isn't okay.
And I was done settling.
If you still have symptoms after a TNF blocker like Humira or Enbrel, Rinvoq is different and may help. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that can rapidly relieve joint pain, stiffness, and swelling in RA and PSA, relieve fatigue, and stop further joint damage. And in PSA, can leave skin clear or almost clear.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin, heart attack, stroke, and GI tears occurred. People 50 and older with a heart disease risk factor have an increased risk of death. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Done settling?
Ask your rheumatologist for Rinvoq.
And take back what's yours.
AbbVie could help you save.
With MyQ, home is just a touch away. MyQ is the only smart home security solution that provides video monitoring, real-time notifications, and lets you decide who comes in and who stays out. All in one easy-to-use app.
For more than a decade, Farxiga has been trusted again and again and again. Ask your doctor about Farxiga.
Shop Etsy for classroom staples under $40 that are anything but basic. Find everything from personalized apparel and accessories to gifts for teachers. When you need back-to-school supplies under $40, everyone can agree on. Etsy has it.
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salon Paws. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salon Paws. It's good medicine.
Gemstone product I find very versatile, very affordable, very clean install to get the same finished look of a stone product. I think it's a fantastic product, and I don't see us going back to the traditional stone method anytime soon.
Gemstone is DIY friendly, goes from box to the wall in minutes, and can be used for any project inside or out. Like this fireplace, this entry, this chimney, or this complete home transformation.
Gemstone was really easy to cut. We're looking at doing the exterior of the house.
Text panel to 59583 to see more Gemstone projects.
It's lightweight and it's durable. It cuts so easy that even an old guy like me can do it. We can all do it. This is not a skilled tradesman job.
Text panel to 59583 to get your discount code and save up to 50% over real stone.
David Hogg gets tonight's last word. The 11th hour with Stephanie Ruhle starts now.
Tonight, the new Democratic ticket for 2024 is set as Vice President Kamala Harris taps Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to be her running mate. The candidates holding their first big rally in Philadelphia to kick off a campaign swing through critical battleground states, while Trump and Vance launched new attacks branding the Democrats as far left, radical, and dangerous liberals as the 11th hour gets underway on this Tuesday night. Good evening once again. I'm Stephanie Ruhle, and it's official. We are now just 91 days away from the presidential election, and the Democrats now have their